the game. The most practical for a coach, because it gives more exercises. Quickly recognize when someone is using their analytical mind, and it really shows up on their face. And then helping people to go to the place where they are objectively observing the results of their actions. Tim Galway, John Wooden, and one other.
It was actually 4 people: Tim, John Wooden, George Allen, and Red Auerbach. And they were on they were asking these great coaches, what can you teach managers in business about how to get the best out of their staff? And they had never been asked the question before. It was very interesting, the conversation and what came out of that.
Especially because you have 4 probably fairly divergent views on all of that. I can't see Tim and Red Auerbach, being like-minded in a lot of ways.
As it turns out, they did discover that there was a common denominator and thread that they all believed in. They were talking about it. Facilitator, was asking questions and trying to tease it out, and they were kind of struggling with how to transfer, their knowledge to make it practical for business. Red Auerbach, still chomping on his cigar, grabbed the microphone away from George Allen and said, I'll tell you what, how you get the best out of your players. You love the bastards. And George Allen grabbed the microphone back and said, you know what? Nothing we've said up until now is meaningful. This is it. This is the bottom line. You got to love your players. And Red Auerbach grabbed the microphone again and says, and I'll tell you how I know they love me. 5 years after they've left you, they call you up and they tell you about their families and they tell you how they're doing. That's how you know.
That's awesome.
Actually, what's funny, though, is that actually goes to the current neuroscience research on the ideal performance state and flow, which is that put yourself in a situation where you're challenged, you're at risk, like in competition. It's critical that as a foundation you feel safe. And so a way a coach can help a player feel safe is to really care about them and actually really get to know them. And this was Pete Carroll's number 1 or 2 rule for his coaching staff, is get to know your players. And this is why he's able to create what has been called the most innovative practice in football, because what he's able to create is a highly focused and intense environment, competitive environment, but also collaborative and collegial. You've got this intense competition going on, but people are also having fun and patting themselves on the back. Apparently in football that's unheard of, but that allows them to really develop themselves, truly how to create an environment where mental toughness can develop naturally.